Today, I just want to share something with you concerning the way we think and the way we see things. Truth of the matter is that the way you see things is the way they appear unto you. The way you see things is the way they appear unto you. And just as the Bible says in the book of Proverbs chapter 23 verse 7, Bible says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So the way you see things, the way you think, that's the way you see things. Because truth of the matter is that we don't just see with our eyes, we see with our mind. We don't just see with our eyes, we see with our mind. And that's what we call perception. So both of us can be looking at the same thing, but we are seeing different things. So I want to tell you a story about two different couples. The men happen to work in the same office, and the women also happen to work in another office. So one day they all went back to work and they were all having conversation. So the conversation started with the women in their office. So one woman said, "Yesterday was the most romantic night in my life. Can you just believe that when we got home yesterday, my husband for a long time now just held my hand and we took a long stroll. And as we're going, we're having a lovely conversation. He held my hand, he put his hand around my neck, and we had a long chat which we have not had for a long time now. And we went to a kinky junction, a kinky spot, and we sat down at the roadside which we have not done for a long time. And we ordered kinky and fish and we ate together. And after that one, we have to walk through the dark, having a chat, he holding my hand until we got back home. And when we got home, can you just imagine, for the first time again, my husband brought candles and he switched on candles all over the room and we slept in the candle. In fact, it was the most romantic night in my life. The other woman also gave a story. He said, "Yesterday was the worst night ever in my life." And what was the story? He said, "You know already, as I got home, my husband got home, and that boring man, just after changing and freshening up, he came to sit around the dining table, and I presented him his favorite food. And after eating, he just sat down there, and before I could say Jack, he was already snoring. And I gathered him, and I took him to bed, and he slept off." These are the two stories of the two women in their own office. Then the men will also have a conversation in their office. So the man whose wife said it was the most romantic night started the conversation. And he said, "Can you just believe yesterday was the most boring night in my life? I got home yesterday and there was no light. We had no gas. And I don't even have enough money. I don't even have petrol in my car. And when I went home, because there was no light, there was no gas, there was no food at home. So, you know that woman, she can talk. So I held her hand and we took a stroll. And whilst we were going, she was only talking and talking and talking, disturbing me whilst I was thinking about what to do to get money for petrol the following day. And whilst we get me of all people, I took my wife to the roadside because I didn't have enough money to go and buy kinky and fish, sitting among riffraffs and nobodies. And we ate together because when we bring it home, there's no light at home. And therefore, we cannot really have enough illumination to sit down and eat. So we have to eat over there. And after eating, you know, as usual, this woman confused me and worried me with plenty talking as we walk. And I have to hold her hand because there was darkness over there so that she would never stumble and fall. And when we go home, can you just imagine? I don't even have a rechargeable lamp. I only have pieces of candles around, so I pick 2 or 3 or 4 of them. They are not even full because I don't have money to buy. And I have to switch on the candles. And that is what we slept into this morning. What a boring night. Can you just imagine? The wife saw that one as the most romantic night. The husband saw that one as the most boring night. The other man saying that I asked for my wife the best of the best. In fact, if I had not married her, I would have regretted. My wife is the best in the world. Can you just imagine? Before I got home yesterday, she was already in the kitchen preparing my favorite food. And when I got there, she was still busy. I exchanged pleasantries with her. I went to the bathroom and I freshened up. I came back to the dining table and my wife came to serve me like a king. And guess what? she sat beside me. We're having a conversation, and I finished eating. She took everything away. We continued the conversation, and we all fell asleep. What a romantic and powerful night. I just want you to know that it depends on how you see it. And that's why no one owns your happiness. No one owns the way you see things, because that is in your heart and your mind. No matter how people mention it to you, if you decide not to see it aright, you will never see it aright. One person saw it as a romantic night. The other person was seeing it as a very boring night. One person seeing the wife as the most romantic wife, but she was also seeing the husband as a boring man. And that is what makes marriage a bit difficult, because we all have different perspectives. We all have different ideologies. What you see as a good thing, the other person may be seeing it as a bad thing. And I heard a story recently that a couple's nearly divorced, all because of the way they used their Pepsodent. The woman used it from the base, the man used it from the middle. And the woman was bent on divorcing the man because the man has always been using the Pepsodent from the middle. And that was a problem to the woman. Said the man doesn't want to change. Habits die hard, and it all depends on where we are being brought up. Today, I want to encourage somebody that perspectives are very, very important. And that is why when you write 6 and I write 9, it depends on where you stand. You may 6 or you may see 9. So when I write 6 and I'm standing this way, I will see 6. When you stand there, you may tell me it is 9. And that's why before you argue with somebody, before you get angry with your spouse or your husband, your wife, stand where they stand. Go back to where they have come from, and you understand why they behave the way they do. But if you have not really been in the lane and the journey of someone, you may not really understand them. It all depends on our upbringing, our background, our experiences, the books we have read, and so many things. So our mindset are very, very important, and that is what creates our perspective. What you see as good, someone is also seeing it as bad. You may be a graduate and you think that, as being a graduate, I'll get this particular man to marry me. In his mind, I will never marry a graduate. He or she will never respect. So you think being a graduate is an advantage. To somebody, it's a disadvantage. Perspectives are very, very important. And that's why we must try to understand one another. We must try to condone one another, because you cannot be someone and someone can never be like you. But we have all gone through a journey. We have gone through a lane where we have gathered a lot of experiences, a lot of thinking, a lot of backgrounds, and what have you. So today I just want to encourage you that the way you see things may not just be the way your wife is seeing it. Try to condone it, and that's why a lot of compromises, tolerance is very needed in our marriages. I pray that your marriage will work, knowing that we need to tolerate one another. We need to have forbearance. We need to have tolerance towards one another. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.